I'm trying to be zen, just be zen, and just like find myself. Just be zen while finding myself. But when you are trying to be zen and finding yourself, there are a lot of hurdles that the enemy is going to be throw at you big time. So I just like being really like people just exhaust me, to be honest. Like people really exhaust me. So I've just been exhausted left, right, center, with people's energy, like like you just, I don't even know where to start. Like for example, at work, there are just people who are just like, lately people are just getting very much very nasty to each other, today there was a huge drama at work, a huge drama. But you guys, I know that people usually say, don't get involved, stay away. But guys, guys, this is me. I stand for the truth, and I remember even when I was younger, I used to stand up for the people who are getting bullied. I'm not one of those people who's gonna sit and watch people being treated unfairly. I don't care even if I am getting dragged into whatever mess that is going on. For me, if somebody is being unfair, I will stand up and I will tell them, right now you are not being nice, or you are being unfair, and you have to try as much as possible to, like rethink the way you are right now, because it's not doing you a favor, it is not doing your colleague favor. The year 2019, like, in our company there is a people who have this bully culture, like there are people who put themselves in a position where they feel like they can say whatever they want, or they can be however they want with their fellow colleagues, without getting, like they're like, like class prefects. If you guys used to be in high school or used to be in school, class prefects have the mandate and have the authority to write and do whatever they want, meanwhile, I mean, to write and report you to the authority. Meanwhile, they can do whatever they want, So recently, I know that there are a lot of people in my company who's been given managerial positions, but a lot of these people are very incompetent. Yes, I said it. They are very incompetent, or they become very lenient and become very complacent with their work, that they don't even deliver, they don't even deliver. Sometimes you just wonder why, like, the people that some of them have worked with them, if you are like trying to pick on crew, and you are trying to tell people do this, do that, and you must be like this, and yet you are not following yourself, for example, if you know that there is no phone policy, and you are gonna tell people, guys, don't use a phone. Meanwhile, you're sitting on the jump seat, you're excluding yourself, and you're putting headphones, and you're watching your TV on your iPad while other people are working. I'm not okay with this. Sometimes you find that these people who are so-called managers, they know that the company don't tolerate this nonsense. Even with them themselves, they might as well be in a position to write reports and to write to whatever, report people, because they feel like they are in the authority. They have the authority to do so and threaten you and make your life miserable. But at the end of the day, nobody ever takes these people accountable to their actions or the way they act. So for me, it's like I've always been somebody who has stood to the truth, and I've tried as much as, if I am wrong, if I didn't do my job properly, come at me, write whatever reports you are writing. I will be called in the office. I don't care. I'll go there and I'll explain myself. I'll go there and I will actually try to pull up my socks and do better in my field of work. But if somebody is not doing better themselves, for example, there was a time that we were so busy. I was a deputy in at the back at in coach, and I was a deputy. And there was this person who was just being bossy. Business class was not booked. There was really zero passengers. And then he was being super bossy, and we are busy. I'm the deputy at the back. I'm dealing with everything and everyone without even calling them, because usually I don't like to like call them every little thing, call them. I know I'm capable of dealing with these things, dealing with the crew at the back, because usually I create team spirit whenever I am given the the supervising authority to be a supervisor at the in coach. I usually make sure that I put the team spirit. I lead by example. I do whether it is that it is the toilets that needs cleaned, whether it is that it is the call bells that needs answered. I have to lead by example, not that I'm just sitting doing whatever or being busy on my phone and I'm ordering the junior crew around, telling them do this and do that, and I'm not doing. No, I do first, and then they must watch what I do, then they must follow. And this person is just like doesn't care. We are busy, they are not lending a hand. And they are at the front just sitting and chit-chatting, covering themselves very cozy with fluffy blankets and just sitting. Meanwhile, we are busy and we are really, really suffering at the couch. The fact that business class is not booked doesn't mean that the people who are working in coach, because usually I am business class crew, but in most cases when I'm working in a single aisle fleet, like in the 320 small aircraft, I am the most senior, so I have to be given the mandate to be the whatever, what is it called, the deputy at the back. So I have to work at the back. So then this person was just like doesn't do his job, and on the top of it he wants to dictate me and he wants to tell me how to do my job. Meanwhile, when I go to the front, I find them sitting and lifting their legs. In business class seat, they are sitting. This is a no-go. So at the end of the day, he is giving me a hard time, but then he is also doing what he's not supposed to do. So then the reason why he was giving me a hard time was because when there was a PA we were supposed to be securing, because we were almost landing, but the person was still sitting and lifting his leg and not doing anything. Of course, as the all entire flight he didn't do anything. When I secured and I was securing and I opened the curtains, and obviously he was sitting there, so he got embarrassed and he was like, how dare you open the curtain and you see me, I'm sitting here. I'm like, are you even supposed to sit there to start with? He's like, excuse me, who are you talking to? I say to him, I'm talking to you actually, because I have so many things to say to you right now. I don't have time. We will talk later. And then he said to me, oh, your attitude is going to be documented and la la la. I told him, darling, you know very well that you yourself, you have not led by example. So who are you threatening with what report? You know very well. And the time that he is threatening me, I made sure that not threatened him, but I scared him, because I saw him sitting there, and again he's giving me a hard time and sitting there with his leg up on the bulkhead, and I went and grabbed my phone and took a picture of him, like a witness. So then like as a, what, not witness, but as a what is it called, as a approve that he was actually sitting there. So obviously I could never send that to the office or whatnot, but it was just to make him know that, you know what, you be careful out here, because you're not only the one in charge here, even me. There is culture in this company that you don't just go away with. You just don't put people down while you do what you're not supposed to do. So I've learned to stand up for what is right. Even today, the person, the one who was in the charge, like the flight crew, he was just being mean. We just came back from China, And we had this corona thing was going on, obviously, so he was being paranoid and being so mean with the entire team. So for me, I realized that because I just saw he was very stuck up, but I noticed he was stuck up, and then I had people talking about him being stuck up. Then I said, oh well, I also kind of noticed because I asked him a question and he went off at me, like he like told me off. Then I was like, oh, what's wrong with him? Like it's very unlike, we don't really see such people. People are nice in my company generally. And then anyway, to cut the long story short, the entire flight there was such drama because every person who was dealing with him was either coming out crying or being told off and stuff like that. That he was just being paranoid. He was like saying that because we are dealing with the passengers and the passengers are likely infectious, even though we were told to wear masks, so we were wearing masks, so the passengers are likely infectious, so we are potential infectious as well. So he was like, he don't want us to sort of get into the cockpit or even, remember, we have procedures to follow. We have everything, like everything is written by the book. And if the company things doesn't come directly from the company, you can not just close the cockpit door and make it sterile and just say that nobody is allowed to get in from outside, like because you guys are infectious. Like, no, you can't, because we are, according to the procedure, we are supposed to get in after every 30 minutes, and we are supposed to relieve you guys when you are going to the toilet. Like, you cannot, like, we have to be in there at some point because that is the procedure. And if you think that we were infectious, that you could have just offloaded us in Shanghai. There was no reason for you bringing us on board and then treating us like we are some dangerous were infectious, Ebola infected, coronavirus kind of people. No, you don't treat your people like that. If you call him, he has a problem. If you don't call him, he has a problem. He's like all over the place. And then I noticed that as well. So then this one girl came out crying. Actually, two or three girls came out crying. Then I said, enough. Then the cabin, we mentioned it to the cabin manager. We said, have you noticed the way he's treating us and the way he's talking to us is just not right. Then I said, you know what? I dealt with him firsthand, and even me, he was not nice to me. These type of people, they accumulate this type of behaviors again and again, and they don't really learn from it because nobody is making them accountable. So then I said, you know what? If you guys, the cabin manager said, if you guys are not okay with the way he's dealing with you guys, make sure you mention it to her after the end of the flight. So then the end of the flight happens, and then we go to the bus, and then we started, we do a little debriefing. That's usual. Every time we finish the flight, we have to do a little debriefing just to make highlights and what might be done better, as la la la. Then this girl started talking, like saying, because the cabin manager told us to mention it in the debriefing. So this girl started talking. The minute this girl started talking, the guy was like, shut up, like, don't talk, like, you need. So then I say to him, actually, honestly, every single person was like in their shell and it's like quiet. Every single person was just quiet. And this guy was being super rude, and he's been rude the entire flight, making people cry. You know what? Including myself, he was not really nice to me. So this girl was told off and got embarrassed with this guy in front of everyone. And everybody went inside their shell. And after this girl was told off, I told him, actually, I'd like to say something. How about that? I'd like to say something. Then he said, what do you have to say? What do you have to top up to that? I said to him, actually what she means and what we have observed is that it's not about you being firm or being assertive. It's just the way you are communicating to us that is a bit too firm. You can just be a little bit nicer when you are talking to us, because it just seems like, it's just not nice the way the way you talk to us, the way you're chasing us away, the way you're like, take and go, like, take it and go. I'm like, just be nice. Like, we are fellow crew. This was exactly my words. I just said, just, I say to myself, I will stand up and I will tell this guy, all of you can sit back in your shells and be like, oh, no problem. But how is he going to realize that he is not being, like, people are not okay with his behavior? Like, in case we had an emergency and you've already put the barrier, you don't want to, like, sort of interact, and before I even finished talking, he said to me, you know what, you know your place, be quiet, I'm not having this conversation with you. If you have anything to say to the company, you better, if you have anything to say and you don't like the way I am talking, you just go and email the company. Don't talk to me, it shut everyone down. Then fine. Then he walked off and he went. He just didn't want to have a conversation. And then I'm like, this is so unlike the commander in chief. Like, if something happens, God forbid, even if you were sick in that cockpit and you were incapacitated, the same people whom you are telling off are the people who can easily save your life. What if we are colleagues, we are in this tube together at the end of the day, And some girls are like telling me, you should be cabin manager by now. Why are you not cabin manager? No, I say to them, you know what? I'm not a cabin manager because, or I'm not a cabin senior, or I'm not a manager in this company because I do not have patience to deal with this type of issues, I feel like there is a line that you cannot cross. You cannot treat us that like we are people in the kindergarten. You cannot have a cycle of you having no team spirit, and you set up the tone that is very, very awkward and uncomfortable with your team. To an extent, there is just a barrier that even if there was an emergency, we couldn't be comfortable to even communicate to you. We would even just like sort of realize something was happening at the back and ignore, say, you know what, I'm going to be dismissed if I say it. So, like, already this is an emergency, like this is a safety issue. It is not okay for you to put, well, I didn't say to him all these things, but because when I was trying to talk to him, he shut me down, and then I got fired up and I calmed myself down and I said, you know what, since everyone is not willing to talk to him, then after some time, we gathered all of us after him together with the rest of the flight deck. Obviously, the flight deck went and talked to him and told him, this is not the way that you are supposed to address your crew and blah, blah, blah. But he's just so stuck up. He just went and he didn't want to listen. And then the captain came, because the other flight deck just came and said to us, you know what, when the other one came and was like trying to talk down for him and apologize for him, we all ganged up, all of us were like, la, 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 all of us were talking at once, and we were like, the way he treats us is unfair, and la, 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 we don't like this, and la, 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 and I was thinking to myself, who the hell does this man think he is? In my company, people stand for what is right. We don't protest. We don't go protesting and make drama, but if we think that something has been done unfairly, we speak to the VP directly, to the vice president of the company directly, because we have our own Twitter. We have our own Twitter that people air their concern directly, and you can email this vice president, the people who are dealing, like they listen to the crew very, very, very well. Like if something is not right, they will listen. So we were like, who the hell that this man he is? He's not even the VP of this company, yet he is treating us like this. If we can actually speak to the VP and he will listen to us, this one does not want to listen to us like we are being nice, we're not rude or anything, but he's treating us like ish, So like we are some sort of maids who are just like, Then we all of us just gathered and we were talking, and then the captains was like, you know what? And then another captain was like, everyone say that we are going to report. We are going to have to, because he told us, he forced us to go and report him for the kind of behavior and how he treated everyone. And then the captain was saying, you cannot just report him without letting him know. And then we were like, hello. In the bus, we tried to talk to him and he said, these were his exact words. Go and write to the company if you want. getting anything from me. Go and write to the company, and then the person just kept quiet. And there's just a lot of things. It's like there are some people who are just sort of neglecting their duties, and they sort of just like neglect their duty totally. They want to be on your neck. Meanwhile, their area is not done. But they are in your neck to an extent. They are forgetting that they were supposed to do 1, 2, 3 in their area. And they are very shondy, and the way their dealings is just not okay. So then I said to myself, you know what? I am just like, I'm dealing with people has become close to almost impossible. I'm not losing my patience so far, and I'm asking myself, is it time for me to resign from my company or what? Because I've just had enough. I've just had enough. That was just a thought, and that is the topic of this video. Is it time for me to actually quit my job or what? Because my patience level is just running low. There's just a lot of stories that I could have told you guys, but this video has taken too long. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.